Hey folks, good evening on this Wednesday night. Current time is it's just after 9 o'clock. I'm meteorologist Alden German here in the Storm Team Weather Center. Just going to go over our current weather situation here, let you know what exactly is headed our way. We've been talking about the threat for severe weather for a while. I'm going to go ahead and just give you a look at what's going on right now. Thankfully, we don't have any severe weather as of now in our viewing area, but it is still very windy. That's what I see a lot of folks have been mentioning today. Let's see here. Julie Grubb mentioning a lot of wind outside still. Yes. Hello, Beverly from Borden. And Amanda says the wind is terrible. It is very, very gusty right now. And those gusty winds are going to continue through the course of tonight and into tomorrow, and really through tomorrow too. So it's going to remain fairly windy for a while. What we're looking at right now is Max HD radar. You can see we do have that line of rain and thunderstorms making their way eastward ever so slowly. They've been taking their time getting here, but thankfully nothing is severe. That's the most important thing to lead off with. We don't have any severe weather right now, but it is still very windy, and we'll check out what some of those wind speeds are at the moment. First, I will loop this radar image over the last hour. You can see that we still have this line of thunderstorms making their way eastward, but they are weakening as they continue to push east, which is a good thing, of course, and we just don't have as much energy or fuel for these storms to work with as they continue to push to the east. Also looking at the Weather Service and Storm Prediction Center to see what updated information they have. All right. So nothing is severe right now, which is good, of course, and we're going to keep an eye on that through the course of this evening. But let's go ahead and check out what watches and warnings we have in place across our viewing area. So really for our entire viewing area, we have a severe thunderstorm watch that's in place until 1 a.m. And of course, we're going to keep an eye on that, but there's also a potential that they drop this watch early, especially if we continue to see significant weakening with this line of thunderstorms as it rolls through the region. Now, as for that severe weather risk, this has just been updated and there hasn't been too much change. They've shaved off a lot of the activity to the west, but we're still in that risk level 2 out of 5 for most of our viewing area in that yellow shade. That's until, well, really that goes until tomorrow, or so long as we have that threat here. And those main threats for us are going to be damaging wind gusts, heavy rain, and we can't rule out the potential to see an isolated spin-up tornado, but with the way things have been looking right now, that risk is possibly being reduced as these storms continue to move to the east. So really good news there on that front, and something that works to our advantage. So as we look at radar again, all of this rain is to the west of I-65. So again, a little bit closer here. Nothing happening in the metro area right now, but we do have a pretty long line of heavy rain extending from just to the west of Bedford down through Orange County between French Lick and Paoli, east of Patoka Lake, and through Leopold there as well, down towards just outside of our viewing area there near Ohio County and Hardinsburg. You might be getting a little bit of light rain at the moment. So this is all moving to the east and northeast very quickly, and you can also see how much this line has weakened as it's continued to push eastward. So we start back here an hour when we had this very heavy activity near Masonville, and I'll make this full so you can see it better. Back here towards Masonville, that was very, very heavy rain and quite a bit of lightning and thunder and some gusty winds. But as it's continued to push off to the east and northeast, move through Du Bois County and Jasper, you had some pretty gusty winds out there, and look how much it's weakened. We don't see as big of a region of heavy yellows and oranges and those deep shades indicating that really heavy rain. So that means that it is weakening still as it continues to push eastward. But yes, there is very, very strong winds. We've had high wind gusts all day, upwards of 50 to 55 miles per hour, and you can see our University of Louisville camera there shaking around quite a bit in the breeze, and it's still 80 degrees. It's very warm outside. A summer-like day almost for us here. But let's check out what those wind gusts are right now. I see a lot of people talking about them. So those wind gusts currently have been reported still up to about 50 miles per hour in the metro area, around 50 miles per hour near Litchfield, and a lot of other stations reporting wind gusts, of a 35 to 40 miles per hour. So definitely still very windy outside, and those are just the wind gusts, not the actual sustained wind speeds. So if we look at the sustained wind speeds, these are still blowing at around 20 to 30 miles per hour across a good portion of the region. So it's still quite windy, and it is going to be windy tomorrow, but not as extreme as it has been today. Winds tomorrow will come from the west at about 15 to 25 miles per hour, and we might still have a few gusts higher than that, which is still pretty healthy, but we shouldn't be seeing any gusts upwards of 50 miles per hour like what we have for today. And let me look at some of the newest timeline here. Yeah, so tomorrow those winds will generally be out of the west and southwest about 15 to 25 miles per hour. So a active night, you'll probably get some moderate to heavy rain falling, but as the night wears on and as this line continues to push eastward, the severe risk is going to diminish. So let's come back down here and look at radar. So we're not even really seeing any lightning with this line here from Paoli down through English and through Leopold either. It's just a line of very heavy rain. Now there's still some stuff back to our west, of course, but a lot of this down here in western Kentucky is just widespread. We call it stratiform rain. So it's very uniform across the area, and it's pretty heavy. Like, look at Hopkinsville, getting some very heavy rain, but nothing is severe. Well, maybe just south of Hopkinsville, there's a severe thunderstorm warning. A little hard to see there. But there's still not too much in the way of lightning with this. The main threat is really going to be damaging wind gusts. Oh, excuse me. Bit tired tonight. So as that line continues to push eastward, we'll hopefully continue to see some weakening, which has been the trend for today, for this evening. Now we'll also look at Futurecast here, which will need to be updated before our 11 p.m. show. So it's a little bit behind schedule compared to what we're currently experiencing, and some of the later updates might catch up on it. What it depicts at 10:30 is fairly close to what we're actually seeing now. So Futurecast might be lagging by about an hour and a half or so, but I think between about 10 and 11, 10:30 to 11, we'll start to see that line really move through Louisville. And we'll probably have some very heavy rain when it does, and some gusty winds. Still the potential they could put out a severe thunderstorm warning for those high wind gusts, which would most likely be around the 60 mile per hour range or higher. And there have been some very high wind gusts reported upwards of, I think, near Paducah. They had a couple of wind gusts of 70 miles per hour or even more. Now, there have been some reports of power lines down off near Ferdinand and Du Bois County, and I also saw a couple other reports in here of some power outages closer to Louisville just because it's so windy out there. Let me see if I can find that. Julie, yes, I'm sure you can hear your wind chimes. They are liking that. All right, Chastity says she has no power in Sellersburg. Crazy wind in Shepherdsville. Clove reports very windy and rainy. Orleans, north of Paoli, it's pouring rain and very windy. So that's what we're going to see primarily through tonight, are those high wind gusts and very heavy rain. So after that main line moves through, we're going to have a cold front roll through at around, sorry, I'm reading stuff as it comes in. Oh, that's not in our coverage area. So we're going to have a cold front roll through here, probably around 3 to 4 o'clock. That should produce another line of gusty showers, but then through Thursday, it's going to be a lot cooler. We'll see temperatures falling throughout the day. By the early to mid-afternoon, we could find ourselves in the upper 40s to low 50s, and we'll try to recover those temperatures just a little bit, but we wouldn't be any warmer than the middle 50s for tomorrow afternoon. Then some lingering showers will also continue uh, through Thursday afternoon, some spotty showers, and perhaps even into early Thursday night. Then we'll see some clearing heading into Friday morning, and Friday morning is going to be fairly cold. We'll find ourselves back down into the 30s, and temperatures will start to slowly recover a little bit Friday afternoon, but they'll still be very chilly there in the middle 50s. And then looking a little bit further ahead into Saturday, we'll probably start to get a few showers, rain showers then too. So back to the wind, because I still see a lot of people talking about that. We have a wind advisory that's in place until 10 p.m. and I'll take off that severe thunderstorm warning watch so you can see that better. That gray shade there, that's that severe, excuse me, that is the wind advisory in place until 12 a.m. because of how strong these wind gusts are. And by around 12 a.m., we'll start to see those winds back off just a little bit, but it's still going to be fairly gusty. So overnight through tonight, you can still expect to probably have those winds gusting up to about 40 miles per hour. Just a really strong storm that's rolling through the area, so that's why we have such high wind gusts. Off to our west, in the Evansville area, it looks like they have some flood concerns out there, but they did have quite a bit of heavy rain for them. I'll turn that off. And to our south, there's a tornado watch, but otherwise it's not going to, the greatest tornado risk is going to stay to our south, and that's also where they have the greater severe weather risk. Those orange boxes, oh, I guess you can't even see that. Those orange boxes are severe thunderstorm warnings, but we don't have anything severe right now in our area. That's the good news. What we're really contending with are those wind speeds. They're still gusting up to 50 miles per hour here in the metro area, around the metro area, and parts of Floyd and Clark County as well. Litchfield also reporting a 50 mile per hour wind gust. Frankfort almost 40 miles per hour. Brandenburg around 30 miles per hour. Montreal about just under a 40 mile per hour wind gust as well. So we'll continue to see these kinds of winds overnight, but I don't think they'll be as strong as 50 miles per hour as the night progresses, as the night goes on. But as for those wind speeds, these are the sustained wind speeds, not the gusts. These are sustained winds across the entire region of 20 to 30 miles per hour. So it's windy everywhere, no matter where you are. We've been looking at some of the flags flying across the area today, and you know they're hanging on. They're completely unfurled out there, but very, very windy. But it was also pretty warm. Our high temperature today got up to 84 degrees, which is actually a new record high. It breaks or ties a record that was set back in when was that? 1895 and 1977, I believe, was when that record was tied. But look at those temperatures over the past week. Yesterday, we only got up to 49, and today it's 84. Like, that's incredible, really. We were hovering right around 50 degrees for the last 5 days, and now we jumped up to 84 for our high temperature today. I see folks asking if their town will get those high winds. Well, everyone has seen those high winds. The question really is whether or not you're going to have those severe wind gusts. And that is possible, but as we continue to move through the evening and we see this line, as I pull up radar again, as we see this line continue to push eastward, we're continuing to see it weaken as well. And I don't even see, there's not even any lightning falling right now in our viewing area. And this really big segment right there that moved through Du Bois County and Jasper at around 8:45 has lost a lot of strength as it's moved eastward through Orange County and Crawford County, and it's really dwindled quite a bit. Now you're still going to get a pretty heavy wind gust through that and some heavy rain, but south of the river there through Kentucky, west of Breckenridge and Grayson counties, not seeing any lightning, not seeing any indications of damaging winds, nor have I really seen any reports of damaging winds through western Kentucky, west of our area, but still a lot of uniform heavy rain. And probably you're still going to have some gusty winds and some heavy rain as well. So let's look at Futurecast one more time, because as this continues through the evening, and again, this is really, let me adjust the true positioning of this, just to give us a better idea of where we're seeing a lot of this stuff in reality. I'll expire that for 15 minutes. So as we continue through the night, by around, I believe, probably 10 to 11, we'll see that line moving through or crossing I-65. And we'll still probably have some strong wind gusts. We'll still probably have some very heavy rain. And we might see a severe thunderstorm warning issued for winds that would be over 60 miles per hour. But as it continues to cross I-65, and frankly even move towards I-65, this line is going to get weaker because there just isn't as much energy or juice or fuel for these storms to work with. But it is still going to be breezy overnight. It's still going to be windy. And if you're going to wake up particularly early tomorrow morning, maybe around 4 or 5 o'clock, you might find that it maybe feels a little bit mild because temperatures are going to be at near 60 degrees, but it's not going to last. Those temperatures are going to continue to fall as the morning progresses, and we'll find ourselves in the upper 40s and lower 50s for tomorrow afternoon. So we're going to have a really big change in those temperatures tomorrow. I see Cheryl mentioning grass fires in Nolan Lake and near Clarkson. Yes, please don't go outside and light any fires because it's going to be a pretty dangerous situation, and the fire weather risk is very, very high. So it's not going to take much. It's been pretty dry for March. We're running about 2 inches. In fact, we can see right here, we're running over 2 inches below normal for rain for the month of March compared to January and February, which were really, really wet. We're now below normal by quite a bit. So this rain that's moving in is going to be beneficial for us to hopefully catch up to that total just a little bit and to ease those fire concerns that have been going on for this evening, especially to our south and west, where they've had particularly strong winds, dry conditions, and bad fire conditions. So looking at that severe weather risk again, the highest threat is going to be to our south, through central Tennessee, through pretty much the entirety of Alabama. And we are just right there on the very northern tip of this. Risk level 2 out of 5. And again, those main threats would just be damaging wind gusts, heavy rain. And as the night continues to wear on, that tornado risk is going to be getting lower and lower. But as of now, it's still there. So that's why you should be still keeping an eye out on everything. So across all of southern Indiana, you're still going to have that risk. But from Du Bois County over towards Jefferson County, Indiana, risk levels 1 and 2. And as that line pushes through your community, that's when you're going to start to see that risk really begin to diminish for severe weather. But you'll still probably find yourself with some rain and those gusty winds that are going to continue through tonight. Let me see if I see anything new here. Yeah, seeing wind gusts of around 50 miles per hour in Simpson County, Kentucky. Harding County had a wind gust just under 50 miles per hour. So it's still windy out there, and that's what we'll continue to have for the rest of tonight and through tomorrow. But thankfully, Friday and Saturday are not going to be nearly as windy for us. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off here fairly soon. But taking another look at radar and putting this into a loop for the last hour, I'm still seeing a lot of weakening as this line pushes further and further into our viewing area and towards I-65. So as soon as it crosses I-65 later this evening, probably not going to be, or that severe weather risk is going to be greatly reduced. And we've already have seen that risk be reduced quite a bit as we continue through tonight. But I will be watching this stuff here near to the west of Bowling Green, near Hopkinsville, as that continues to push eastward, towards Penrod at the moment, because it's still severe down there, but as it moves more to the east and northeast, it's not going to have as much energy to work with. But it is still going to be windy all night. We'll probably still have wind gusts over 40 miles per hour through the night. And for tomorrow, we'll have west-southwest winds about 15 to 25 miles per hour. So it's still going to be breezy tomorrow, and we'll still have a chance for some showers tomorrow, gusty showers, but thankfully no severe weather. Severe weather is not a concern for Thursday, but for this evening, I am still keeping an eye on that. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I'll look at some of the new model data that's coming in, and I'll be back at 11 p.m. with an update on air on WHAS 11. And should the need arise that we got to do a special weather cut-in, you can also find that on air online at WHAS11.com or free WHAS11 app, or you can also stream us live on YouTube. We would do storm coverage live there as well. So I'm Alden German in the WHAS 11 Weather Center, and I will see you back here at 11 p.m. on air. And stay safe tonight and try your best not to blow over in those winds.